Can we just look at each other and just talk?
Yeah, we just talk
Yeah.
to each other. Welcome back to another session of WeChats. Well, welcome to WeChats. This is an opportunity for you to kind of be a fly on the wall on some of the conversations that Ellie and I have.
Let's just keep going there with me, that was fine. Welcome. Nice to see you guys again. We're going to have a little talk today on GST.
That all exciting topic, GST. So one of the things that we thought we would talk about is that, when do you become GST registered? And also talk about if you don't start your business and are GST registered at the beginning. Once you do become GST registered, some of the things that people do that or don't do that we're going to tell you today that maybe you should do.
With GST, I guess it's one of the first things you look at when you're starting any business is whether you should or should not be registered for GST. We give our clients a choice. For me personally, I do advise my clients that it's best to just register straight from GST. When you start a business, you've got a goal, might as well just register yourself for GST. Makes it a lot easier to, I guess, conduct your business, because if you haven't registered with GST and then you go to register with GST, then there are some complications that you need to worry about. I guess one of the first things you need to realise is that when you register for GST, it's an added cost that's put onto any invoices. A lot of clients that we've spoken to, they've had invoices before, and then once they've registered for GST, they've kept their quotes the same instead of adding the GST part. So it's really imperative that when you're out quoting for prices, for jobs or any services that you do provide, is that you give them a quote and then you add your GST on that.
It's a standard practice. GST gets charged on top of even your supermarket bills and stuff like that. So not if you are GST registered, no one's going to think anything different of it. They'll just go, yep, cool, and pay the extra GST. And if they're a business, they get to charge back that GST anyway. So they'll do their GST returns and they'll charge it back when they file their own GST returns. So really, it's they're not really losing out themselves either. I think probably something else that to mention is that if you opt not to file to register for GST when you first start off in business, then once you do hit the $60,000 mark in turnover, then that is when you will need to register for GST. So you can't choose to or choose not. If you are over $60,000 worth of turnover, you then must become GST registered, but up to that point you do have a choice.
That's right. And one of the other things that we wanted to talk about is that when you're actually getting paid for your invoice, which includes the GST, it is best practice to put aside that 50%. So say you invoice a client for $100 plus GST, you should be receiving back $115. Put aside the $15 in a separate bank account which you've earmarked for GST, and that way you've covered for your GST bill when it comes around.
One of the things that we do is we have, and we advise clients, is to open up a suffix which is under the same bank account, which is a savings account. So at least you're going to be earning some interest on that money. So if it's a 2 monthly GST return, at least you're going to be earning a little bit of interest. It won't be a lot, it may not be a lot, but if you can earn some money on it while it's sitting in that account, then yeah, great, better to be in your pocket than somebody else's. And then once your GST bill comes in, you should have that money set aside. Now if you end up finding that your GST bill isn't as much as what's in that bank account, then that's great. It means you've got a little bit of extra cash flow there that you can use for maybe a purchase, or you could just keep it there for the next GST period, or for any other purchases or any other cash flow issues that you might have. So yeah, that's probably one of the things that we suggest.
So yeah, that's a little short rundown on GST. Hope that helps you guys out, but please make sure, feel free to call into the We Accounting team. More than happy to discuss this a bit further. Thank you.
Thank you.